Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. The ANC looks forward to the commencement of the 7th Democratic Parliament and the establishment of the Government of National Unity. The ANC negotiations team has over the past week held multiple engagements with political parties who receive seats in the 7th Democratic Parliament. The engagements also looked at the national dialogue that should lead to a social compact on the major challenges, unemployment, inequality, poverty, facing South Africa. The ANC is not yet in a position to give details in relation to these discussions. We've started yet in a position to give details in relation to these discussions. We've started with exploratory discussions, and that led to firming up positions by political parties and us as well, firming up our position, which you know by now is Government of National Unity, with different political parties. Agreements will be made public in the interest of transparency and accountability to the electorate. The ANC is humbled by the fact that the spirit of the engagement with all South Africa's political parties have been characterized by the common commitment to put the interest of the people first and to ensure that our country comes together to address the common challenges it faces. With regards to the selection process of premier candidates for the 6 provinces where the ANC has achieved an outright majority, as well as the 2 where we are a majority party, the interviews with the candidates have gone well. The national officials conducted interviews with ANC premier candidates on May 10, Wednesday to 12 June 2024. All interviews were observed by the chairperson of the ANC's Electoral Committee, Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe, or a member of the committee nominated by him. The Electoral Committee commended the national officials for the integrity of the process and the leadership that they demonstrated throughout. The committee expressed appreciation for the rigorous, thorough and impartial approach by the national officials at a time when they were required to provide leadership in many other pressing national developments. The national officials posed a range of questions to the candidates covering ethical and capable leadership as set out through the Eye of the Needle and the 6 priorities in the ANC's 2024 election manifesto that are critical to speeding up transformation and improving the lives of the people. Our jobs plan, building our industries to include inclusive economy, tackling the high cost of living, investing in people, and defending democracy and advancing freedom. We also interviewed candidates on building a developmental state, building capable state, local government, etc. We also were impressed by the candidates that were interviewed and commended provinces for quality of their nominees. The ANC renewal process seeks to restore trust and confidence as leader of the National Democratic Revolution. At its last 2 national conferences, the ANC vowed to do more effectively to address society's challenges, conduct its affairs in line with its core values. The candidates that were announced today: Eastern Cape, Lubabalo, Oscar Mabuyane; Free State, Comrade Makwin Letsoa Matai; Gauteng, Comrade Hendrik Panyaza Lisufi; Limpopo, Comrade Poppy Constance Ramatuba; Mpumalanga, Comrade Mandla Ndlovu; Northwest, Comrade Kagiso Lazarus Mukhosi; Northern Cape, Comrade Zamani Sau. The ANC national officials believe that the above comrades are equal to the challenges of our struggle for a better life for all that are difficult and diverse and require honest, capable and dedicated leaders. As we have done since the formation of our movement more than 112 years ago, the ANC will put the interest and the well-being of South Africans first. We have engaged, like we said, with a number of political parties, and we have reached a breakthrough on the common agreement that we need to work together. Whether others call this GNU or they call it any other thing for that matter, but we have agreed that as political parties we need to gravitate to the center, except a few who did not expressly support the GNU, and we are not going to retreat on the concept of the GNU because we believe that the government of national unity to us represent the outcome of the elections. We did not get outright majority. We are a 40% party. We have been supported and voted by 6 million people who want us to continue with the transformational agenda to changing the lives of the people for the better. We are in no position to govern this country alone. We need to work with others. Where we are not in charge, like in KwaZulu-Natal, we leave it to those who are above us to provide leadership and be mature to invite us, if it is possible, to actually participate. Where we lead, like in Gauteng and Northern Cape, we have provided that leadership. And we are talking to political parties as we speak right now. We believe that the agreements that we will reach will be made public and will be engaged transparently as we move tomorrow towards the election of the President and the Speaker of the National Assembly, and on Saturday to the NCOP, also to elect the chair of the NCOP and other presiding officers. And in this regard, we have engaged in these discussions with an open mind. We know that there are other parties who are on the other side to our thinking. Nonetheless, they've got the majority. They've got people who said they too must come to the party, and we engaged them on the issue of the government of national unity, and they've agreed to come to the party. We are not afraid of government of national unity. We will work within this government to represent the interest of 6 million and more South Africans who want to see change, who want to see development, and we will work within the legislatures to entrench the principle of accountability among our public representatives, to fight things like corruption, to ensure that we are held accountable, and where necessary, we are held accountable through the prescripts of the legislative framework and the arms of the state, like the legislature. In this particular instance, we believe that we have reached a major breakthrough, that the majority of political parties in our country agree that this moment requires working together, not to get into it like a melting pot, but with set principles for others which are not negotiable. But nonetheless, there is an importance of working together to move the country forward. South Africa is important to all of us, and South Africans want services, want development, want a functioning government. And we have suffered a setback in this election, a setback that did not mean that we are out. We're still a party, but not with outright majority. So, which means that walking and strutting like peacocks and arrogance cannot work in this instance. The most important political approach, which is matured for our democracy, is the fact that the people have spoken. And they've spoken in the way they've spoken, and we need to interpret that correctly. And people did not say that you must work on your own. They said we must work with others. We defined the concept, and at the same time, everybody embraced this concept, even though others have their own interpretation. So to us, it doesn't matter whether the cat is black or white. The fundamental question is, how do we move South Africa forward, having interpreted the outcome of the elections? So to us, the National Democratic Revolution must breathe life within the framework of the government of national unity, notwithstanding what others want. We understand the anxiety, and we have been victims in the past couple of days of fake news that we have noted, that we keep dealing with in the context of these negotiations, that there is a foregone conclusion that the ANC have got an agreement with certain particular parties and all of that, and which is not the truth. And I've explained at the Rock that we've got no outcome that said to us we will get to this stage where we've got to talk with others. We work flat out not to reach a stage where we have to get ourselves below 50%. Now that we are here, we must talk to everyone. And that is what is important. And with the majority, albeit reduced, of the ANC, we have used that to engage maturely with political parties and who have understood that this is not the time to exchange blows. We have done that in the campaign. The people have spoken. To vilify and talk bad about other people politically is not important. The ANC want a share of its manifesto implemented, like others. 1%, 2%, 2, 3 seats, 4 seats, they too have been elected by the people of South Africa. So we have opened ourselves up and invited everybody to participate. Beyond that, we need to engage in a national dialogue, and that is what is important. The ANC itself as an organization and as a party, it's time to pause and reflect on this moment, and that political reflection is going to continue as we engage among ourselves, also with our allies, about this moment and what it represents and what we need to do to recover from it going forward. Thank you very much.